Hey everybody, this is Harv with Harv's Corner. We're going to start this video off. This is a basic tutorial of how the kibble system works in Ark, what you're going to need, bare necessities, some tips and tricks along the way. So we're going to jump right into it. Kibble system in Ark. If you're not familiar, kibble is used to tame dinosaurs. It is the best way to tame them. You're going to get the best taming effectiveness, the best taming affinity using kibble to tame dinos. However, it's also hard to get. What you're going to need is a few things, and we're going to go over all that right now. So what I have down here in front of me is a very simple setup, but basically what you're going to need to tame some things. So I have 4 crop plots going in the top right hand, on that right hand side. You're going to want to have a crop plot of each different type of vegetable. So your savo root, rock carrot, long grass, and citronal. I have a storage box just to the left of the saving fiber. You're going to need fiber making a lot of these kibbles. I have a couple of fridges set up just to store some goods that have a spoil timer on them. We'll go through what you're going to need each kibble for. The generator's just powering them. We have Indie Cooker here, and we also have 2 cooking pots. You can cook any of this stuff with either one of these options. I have the Indie Cooker set up just because it's easy for explanation purposes, because it's already irrigated. Now, normally in a cooking pot, you'd have to put water in it every single time you make something. It seemed kind of counterproductive for this video, so that's what we're going to go through. So we're going to start from the easiest kibble to the hardest kibble and kind of talk about them through there. So the first one we have to talk about is the basic kibble. The basic kibble is used to tame Dilophosaurus, dodos, penguins, parasaurs, pheomias, and also to tame passively the Mesopithecus, which is the like the small monkey guy, right? The little guy that's crawling around, you tame him, he sits on your shoulder and throws poo at people. So you can use it to tame him as well. So what we need to make basic kibble is 10 Amar berries, which is the yellow berry, 1 cooked meat or cooked meat jerky, doesn't matter which one, 1 extra small egg, 5 fiber, 5 measure berries, 10 tinto berries, and 1 water. So what counts as an extra small egg? Dillo eggs, Dilophosaurus, dodo eggs, if you're on a map that has featherlight eggs, penguin eggs, Lystrosaurus, parasaur or tech parasaur, and vulture. Alright, so we're going to go over to the Indie Cooker and throw all this stuff in here. So we're going to need 10 Amar berries. I'm just going to throw some Amar berries in there. Got some cooked meat jerky. I chose dodo eggs with the extra small, and I usually do with this kibble just because it's small. Doesn't take up a lot of space. It's easy to get dodos. They lay eggs like crazy. Just kind of seemed like a no-brainer for me. But again, it's all personal preference. So we got all the ingredients we need in there. We're just going to turn this sucker on and it should start making it for us. Bam, there we go, basic kibble. So we already got them made. You can turn it off. The other thing to note is these guys take a long time to expire. So you get a really long expiration time, so you're not in a super rush to use it, especially if you already have a preserving bin or a fridge, which you should for that. So that's it for the basic kibble. The next level we're going to go up to is what they call simple kibble. The simple kibble is used to tame the Archaeopteryx, the Diplocalus, the Gallimimus, the Iguanodon, the Megaloceros, which is the deer, like the moose, the Morellatops, a Pachy, the Raptor, the Triceratops, or to passively tame giant bees and the Ichthyosaurus, which is the dolphin. So to create the simple kibble, we need 1 cooked fish meat, 1 small egg, 5 fiber, 5 measure berries, 2 rock carrots, and 1 water. Which is, the water's mute because we're using the Indie Cooker. If we weren't, we'd have to throw a water skin in the cook pot when we make these guys. So what counts as a small egg? So what counts as a small egg is definitely a bigger list. So an Archaeopteryx, the hang glider bird you see in the redwoods, the Morellatops, which doesn't make sense to me, they're kind of big. The Compy, Dimorphodons, Gallimimus, Glowtails, Hesperornis, Microraptor, Oviraptor, Pachys, Pagomastics, Pteranodons, Raptors, Tech Raptors, and Trikes. These all count as small eggs that you can use for this. Now, going through this list, I would say something like maybe the Dimorphodon or the Compys, I think things like that. But I actually chose the Pagomastic egg for this one just because the Pagomastic egg is just easy. It's easy to tame Pagos. If you're not familiar, just throw measure berries in your last slot. They'll run up here and try to rob you. And when they try to rob you, they'll take the measure berries and they'll get tamed. So we need cooked fish meat, we need eggs, we need the fiber that's already in there, we need measure berries or rock carrot. Alright, so this should be everything that we need for it. And bam, there we go. And if you notice it's green, it kind of goes up in scale like the kind of like the drops do, or like your equipment does, where it goes from white to green to blue. We'll go through all that. All right, so that's simple kibble. Next on the list is regular kibble. Regular kibble is used to currently tame anglerfish, ankylosaurus, baryonyx, frogs, turtles, carnos, dimetrodons, dodecurus, ichthyornis, the winged thieving damn seagull assholes, those guys, capros, kentros, limantrias, pelagornis, pteranodons, scorpions, perlovias, sabertooth, sarcos, stegos, terror birds, thorny dragons, velanosaurus, and to passively tame the diplodocus, equus, and gigapithecus. It's a long list, right? Definitely starting to see more use out of that one though. Regular kibble for sure. So what do we need to make regular kibble? We need 1 cooked meat jerky. If you're not familiar with how jerky works, you'd also need a preserving bin for this step. And what you do is you just take cooked meat, spark powder, oil, throw it in the preserving bin. Spark powder powers it. Oil and cooked meat will eventually turn it into jerky by itself. That works with cooked meat or cooked prime meat to make the respective jerkies for that. So what we'll do, let's grab some cooked meat out of here. And we need 1 medium egg. So let's talk about what counts as a medium egg. Quite a lot of things count as medium eggs. So ankylos, baryonyx, carnos, dimetrodons, diplos, ichthyornis, iguanodon, capros, kentros, pachyrhinos, pelagornis, scorpions, sarcos, stegos, textegos, terror birds, thorny dragons, troodons, turtles, and velanosaurs. This is a very long list. Now me, I chose out of that list, I chose scorpion. Again, if I'm doing a kibble farm, I don't want to make it as big as I don't want it to be huge. I like to keep things a bit more manageable, but I think it's just, again, it depends on your play style and what you want to do. And if you have a big tribe, if you got a big tribe, you got a big base already, you can already handle that stuff. Me, I'm usually in a smaller tribe / solo. All right, so we got the eggs, we got the fiber in there, we need long grass, we need savo root, and water. So, all right, so we got everything that we should need. And we're gonna turn it on. And boom, regular kibble. Not too terribly difficult, right? So far, a lot of these haven't been. They're fairly easy to make, right? You just need some vegetables and access to some berries, and that's pretty much it. It's not too difficult. I think one of my biggest advice is if you're going to do kibble or like a kibble farm, is just kind of prepare yourself ahead of time. Get it in your head what you want to accomplish with it, and keep that in mind from start to finish when you're playing on a server. And I think that'll help things. Preparation obviously helps out. So the next one we're going to go over is superior kibble, and it is pouring its ass off out here, man. I swear, every time I go to shoot a video, it rains. Every single time. Every time. It was like daylight out here for like an hour and a half, and then whatever. All right, so superior kibble is used to tame the Allosaurus, Argentavis, beaver, daeodon, dire bear, dire wolf, dunkleo, gasbag, mammoth, megalodon, megalosaurus, megatherium, parasaur, plesiosaur, snow owl, tapajara, and woolly rhino. That's another long list, and a lot of these are really cool. Right now we're getting into like the cool stuff that we're going to want to tame, and you're going to want that 100% taming effectiveness on. So to create superior kibble, we need 2 citronal, 1 prime meat jerky, which is created the same way the regular meat jerky is. You just throw prime meat, spark powder, oil in a preserving bin. 1 large egg, 5 fiber, 2 rare mushroom, 1 sap. So let's go pull all this stuff out of here. All right, so now we need to talk about what eggs count as large eggs to make the superior kibble. So we have Allosaurus eggs, Argentavis, Mantis, Megalonia, Megalosaurus, Mosachops, Snow Owl, Spino, Tapajara, and Titan Boa. A couple of these for me, not going to happen. I'm not going to do mantis eggs. If you're not familiar, it takes forever to get mantis eggs. Megalosaurus just because of the sleep deprivation. Titan boa is because you have to feed them eggs to keep them alive, which is kind of counterproductive for making kibble. The one that stands out to me for this one is the Mosachops. They're small, they're fairly easy to tame, and they're good at gathering berries for you, and you're going to need berries for a lot of this stuff. So that's the one that I went through. That's the one I usually go through when I'm making the superior kibble anyway. So we need citronal, we need prime meat jerky, we need the large eggs, which is, in this case, we're going to use the Mosachops eggs. We need rare mushrooms, fiber, and sap. So rare mushrooms, if you don't know, you probably already know, it hasn't really changed a whole lot. Rare mushrooms can be found from harvesting crystal nodes. They can also be found from knocking down the mangrove trees in any of the swamp biomes. Sometimes you can find them in beaver dams, pretty much it. Sap you're gonna need from a tree stand. You're gonna need it to attach a tree tap to the actual trees in like the redwoods that you can put a tree stand on. And that's the way you're going to do that. Now, if you're on other maps like Scorched Earth, you can actually use a chainsaw, hatchet, or a pickaxe on the Joshua trees, which kind of look like furry trees almost. You can hit those and they'll give you sap on Scorched Earth. And then the other thing to note is if you're playing on a map like, well, Extinction, you can harvest it off of certain nodes. Ragnarok. So a lot of people, I don't know if you know this, I might blow your mind. Here we go. So in like the swamp biome on Ragnarok that's off the side of the map, you can attach a tree stand to a couple of the trees in that biome and actually put taps on there too. Also a couple of trees out in the jungle biome on that map as well that you can attach tree stands to and put taps on them as well. So you have a lot of different options depending on the map that you're playing on, but sap is definitely important for this one. So let's throw everything in here. Turn it on. And here we go. So we went purple for Superior Kibble. So if you notice, like I said, it's going up. It's going from like that white to green to blue, not purple. Turn that back off. Pull everything out of here. All right, so next up on the list is the Exceptional Kibble. Exceptional Kibble is currently used to tame the Brontosaurus, the Gigas, the giant crabs like Archenos, Managarmers, Mosasaurus, Quetzals, Rexes, Spinos, Therizinosaurs, and to passively tame the Basilosaurus. So to make the Exceptional Kibble, you need an extra large egg, 5 fiber, 1 focal chili, 10 measure berries, and 1 rare flower. Now, focal chili is another thing that you'll actually cook ahead of time to make. And you'll need cooked meat jerky, citronal, pretty much all the berries with the exception of narco and stem berries. You'll need amar berries, azul berries, tenta berries, measure berries, and water. So you grab all that and you'll cook that ahead of time to create the focal chili, and that's how you do it. But anyway, so we need extra large eggs. What counts as extra large eggs? So basilisk eggs, the big snakes that are in the aberration map, Brontos, Gigas, Quetzals, Rexes, Quetzals, Rexes, and Therizinos. Those all count as those eggs. Of this list, I choose Therizinosaurs just because they're brutal, they're very useful, you can harvest a lot of different resources with them, and they're small. They're a little on the smaller side comparatively to everything else that's on this list. So I'm gonna grab me Therizino eggs. We'll get rid of that sap, put that back in there somewhere. So let's go back to what we need. So we need large eggs, we need the fiber, we need the focal chili. Some of that hanging around here. We need measured berries. We need rare flowers. Rare flowers can be picked up, harvested from beaver dams. You'll find them kind of all over the place. And we're gonna throw these here. And hit turn on. And here we go. In gold, the Exceptional Kibble. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Not too complex, right? I think a lot of this might seem like it's complicated on the surface, but as long as you have a lot of the prep work down, like the animals, the crops, everything like that going, it's actually pretty simple. Pretty simple. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's simple. You know, there's definitely a difference there. So that is the Exceptional Kibble. So we got one last one to go over, and that'll be it. Next up on the list, and the last, is the Extraordinary Kibble. The Extraordinary Kibble is currently used to tame the Griffin, the Megalania, the Rock Elemental, the Thylacoleo, and the Eutyrannus. So this is more of a specialist sort of kibble, really. You know, these are definitely specialist sort of tames when you look at them. They're either kind of exotic, I guess, is what I would say. Now, what do we need to make the Extraordinary Kibble? We need 1 special egg, 5 fiber, 1 giant bee honey, 1 Lazarus chowder, 10 measure berries. Lazarus chowder. So Lazarus chowder is normally used to, it's a dish that you normally make for yourself, and it's used to increase or decrease the speed at which your oxygen goes down when you're underwater, so you can hold your breath under. Basically, it works like a scuba tank. You sit underwater for an extended amount of time. What you need for the Lazarus chowder is 9 cooked meat, 5 savor root, 5 long grass, 10 measure berries, 2 narcotics, and water. And when you throw all those in a cook pot, you'll be able to create the Lazarus chowder, so you already have that. So, giant bee honey, you can get that a couple different ways. You can raid beehives, or you can tame a queen bee and sort of make them yourself. If you're playing on a server that has S+, you can make the domestic beehives out of bee honey, so that you can have a bee, like kind of a honey farm going on. Taming a dire bear for this is actually very helpful. They get a lot of abilities to help you out with taming the bees, or not taming the bees so much as getting the honey out of the nest. So what qualifies as special eggs to use to make this kibble? So this one, Dionychus, which is the guys that were added into the Valguero map, the feathered raptors that run around in packs to kind of jump on things and latch onto them. The golden Hesperornis eggs, not the regular ones, but the golden ones. You have to feed them fish, and eventually they'll pop out a golden egg. Then that works on tamed and wild Hesperornis. Eventually they'll just pop out a golden egg. Size-wise, so far on the list, I would definitely say they're the easiest one if you're trying to save space. The problem is that you constantly have to sit there and give them fish and hope that they give you an egg. So it just seemed, for me, it seems like too much work. The other ones that show up on this list are rock drake eggs, wyvern eggs, and Eutyrannus eggs. This is situational, I think. This kibble really is. It really depends on where you're at, what map you're on, and how stable you are. You know, if you got a gun boat, a turret boat, or a turret base set up by a wyvern trench, then wyvern eggs might be the way to go. You know, you got to lure all the wyverns out, shoot them all down, go take the eggs, keep the high level ones for yourself, and then turn all the low level ones into kibble. Might be the same way, in Apparition with the rock drake eggs, or even if you have the expansion on the Valguero map with the rock drakes in there too. I went with the Eutyrannus eggs. Again, we're on the island, so I'm trying to keep this very, very, very simple. Eutyrannus eggs are the ones I went with. I kind of always think I'm going to have a Eutyrannus if I plan on fighting bosses or anything like that. That's the egg I usually go with. So what else? So what all do we need? We need the special egg. We need 5 fiber. We need giant bee honey. We need Lazarus chowder. So we need Lazarus chowder here. And bee honey. And measure berries. All right, so we grab all this, throw them in here, and here we go. Boom. There we go. It kind of has that ascendant thing to the back end of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, so there we have it. Extraordinary kibble. And we're going to toss that back in here. So those are the kibbles. Those are the kibbles. So I create really big. You can't just mind your business for 5 minutes, can you? So a couple of things to note with this. So let's say you need regular kibble to tame something, but you only have superior. You can use the superior as a replacement because it's a higher kibble. So you can always use a higher kibble than needed, but you can never use a lower kibble than needed. And the higher kibble will do you just the same. So if you want to make, a superior kibble farm and just have superior kibble and tame a lot of the other smaller stuff with it, you can absolutely do that. That's definitely an option. And the other option is if you're playing S+ and have the access to the vivarium. It's more of an end game sort of style construction, but it kind of works like a cryo fridge. It's just bigger. But what you put in there, the tames that you put in there will actually produce eggs for you as well. So you'll be able to have those. Another thing that I would mention is definitely oviraptors. Have oviraptors with you. If you're not sure exactly how oviraptors work, you weight them down, you put them on wander, and they put out kind of like an AoE thing where anything within the range of them, you get better chances of having eggs. And they stack up to 3, I believe. So you can have like 3 of them stacked up, buffing your egg laying thing. What else? So fertilized eggs count as this as well. So if you're waiting on eggs to drop and they're not dropping because you got everything else, you can always mate the creatures that you have and use fertilized eggs for them as well. Also, if you're running S+, you probably already know that the item collector, it looks like a floating mine, can actually pick up the eggs for you too. So that's a bit more lower maintenance. But this is really it. I mean, you don't really, other than a preserving bin, this is really everything that you would need. You really don't even need that many fridges. You need like 1 fridge. You need like 1 cooking pot. So you don't need a lot of stuff to do this, really. I don't think. Hell, I mean, I made this big pad, but I mean, hell, you could close this in and put half the dinos you need inside of here to make eggs for you. But that's it in a nutshell. That's kibble. How the kibble's going to work. It's just going to replace what you put in the dinosaur's inventory, whether you're passive taming it or whether you're taming it off a knockout. It's just going to change what you put in your slot or what you put in its inventory, and that's it. But it will tame it a lot quicker. But that's it for the video for the kibble, for how the kibble works and how to make it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave something in the comments. I'll try to address it. We're going to try to have kind of start like an Ark 101 sort of playlist on here, mainly because Ark's been around for a long time, and I find there's a lot of players that have kind of have dipped out and came back, and a lot's changed. So they're looking for some more information, or people that honestly just never picked it up before. So we're going to try to go over some small those little tips and tricks of how certain things work, the ins and outs of them, and we're gonna incorporate some building stuff in there. If you've seen my channel, I like to build stuff, so we're gonna incorporate some of that too. But if you like what you saw, please please subscribe, please share, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think, hit that notification buzzer so you know when the next video is coming out. That's it. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and until next time.